Very good evening from Maharashtra. Just want to introduce you a couple of books which I reading these days. So first things first, that's By the Lie. Okay, this book I have been reading for around 8 days, and in 8 days I have completed more than 100 pages. And the book is all about how are you going to find a deceptive people, how are you going to figure it out whether someone's lying you or not. Okay, so very fantastic book. And this book has been written by 3 authors, and this author used to work in CIA, so pretty good book for me. And recently I have received one book. The book name is Mastery. I love this book, and this book was on my bucket list. I always wanted to buy this book, but my schedules was very busy, so I wasn't able to buy. So this book has been gifted by one of my student. He lives in Rajasthan. So this book I got from the Rajasthan. Thank you so much, sir. If you are watching this video, I really appreciate that you have given me this wonderful book as a gift. Robert Greene is one of my favorite author, and this guy has written one of the famous book, 48 Laws of Power. It's one of the greatest book I have ever read about power. Okay, I always find very natural places to read a book. Okay, for like this, surrounded by the nature. Let me show you glimpse. See that baboon tree is one of the beautiful tree you're going to see in this place. It's one of the beautiful tree. Whenever I come to the nature to read a book or do any sort of activities, it energizes me, give me new energy, and it's very vital for my reading because of I'm getting very fresh oxygen. Am I lying to you? I don't know, but it helps me a lot. It helps me to focus. Okay, and this place is not crowded, so I'm not getting any sort of distractions. You're only going to hear chirping of the birds and wind, whistling. This sort of background noises you're going to get, voices or sound you're going to get. Pretty good place for reading the books. Let me tell you something about my reading habits. Okay, I've been reading the books around 11 months. Okay, and I want to tell you proudly that I'm managed to read at least 11 books in just 11 months, which means that I'm reading one book a month. So yeah, it's called a consistency, and I don't want to brag about it, which I have started 11 months ago, almost 1 year. I'm still sticking with it. And yeah, from time to time I also getting bored, or like sometimes gaps happen, but I always motivate myself. I always convince myself, persuade myself that whatever you have started, you have to stick with it, and definitely you're going to get a desirable output, results. What is my goal of reading books? First of all, been learning language for very long time right now, and I always found myself that I have very less vocabulary words. So I always wanted to build up my vocabulary, enrich my vocabulary. I always wanted to become better version of myself. So that's why I decided I have to pick the books. Any book it could be about, but these days I'm tend to read psychological books, because psychological books I feel that I'm inclined towards psychology books. So that's why I'm reading more and more those sort of books like 48 Laws of Power, the psychology of money, dark psychology, and this Mastery is also about psychology, I believe, because the same author, the Robert Greene. Yeah, let's see how far I can go with this reading habit. And within 11 months I can literally see that my vocabularies are increasing significantly, and I have accumulated a bunch of new vocabulary words, and I'm proud of myself. I'm not bragging about it, but yeah, 11 months is you have to have very patience to read, especially reading very slowly. Small piece of advice for my English learners, including my students, that guys, I know some of you really want to improve your communication, I know in order to be better at communication you don't require lots of new vocabulary words, okay, because you can communicate with people just using 1500 words or 2000 words, but if you really want to understand native speaker or new channels, then definitely you have to have broad vocabulary words. Okay, with less vocabulary words you're not going to get a natural confidence in you. Whenever you're watching new channels you will not understand 100%, but whenever you're habitual of reading books, what will happen that naturally you're going to find those vocabulary words in a new channels, and if you know those words, so your comprehension ability also going to increase drastically. So I know how much vocabulary words I know. Those vocabulary words I'm not able to use in my active speech, actively, because of those are my passive vocabulary words, right? But it's very natural. uh, you know See, if you really want to become a good at communication, as well as you know whatever reading you have to understand, or whatever listening you have to understand, comprehend very well, then you have to read a book. You must read a book. So that is my piece of advice. I'm not saying that you have to read like 10 pages on a daily basis. No, at least go for 5 pages. Okay, even it is not possible 5 pages, go for 1 or 2 pages. Okay, you require that momentum. Sometimes what happened, like I feel very lazy to read a book, uh, even 1 page. So what I tell myself, that JD, you're feeling bored, I know your energy is drained, just go for at least 1 page. So when I tell myself, JD, read only 1 page, so reading 1 page is not that much big deal, right? So I open up the book and start reading like at least 1 page. But after reading that 1 page, I don't know from where I get that kind of strength or momentum, so I'm able to easily complete 5, 10, 20, sometimes 30 pages. So it's very natural. So it is my piece of advice for my English learner. And if anybody want to enroll in my English classes, please let me know in the comment box. I would really appreciate that. Okay, bye bye.